Welcome back, Dungeoneers. It's Sunday afternoon, and that can only mean one thing. It's time to play Dungeons and Dragons. You're watching Dice and Dungeons, and I'm here at the table with...
Hi, I'm David Wong. I play Nines at Tabaxi Bard.
I'm Nicole Bates, and I play Thoria.
I didn't even do anything weird this time.
No, I expect it, though. I play Thoria, the Changeling Druid.
I'm Greg. I'm playing Ulset Ralph, the Furbog Fighter.
And I'm Alexis Bates, your trusty dungeon mistress. I was really expecting something.
Me too.
I guess you just disappointed everybody.
I was really expecting something. This is part 2 of a doubleheader recording session that we are doing while we have a little time. So that's why we're in the same things we were in the last episode.
Is that why?
That is
Wow.
why.
Oh,
Because we just finished recording the last one like 10 minutes ago.
no, I thought that was because this is my only outfit.
I try to change my clothes every 5 hours.
I mean, typically I never let anyone see me wearing the same thing for longer than 30 seconds.
Because you don't like to be seen for longer than 30 seconds by people.
Well, that's true.
So why are we here again?
To play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons
she
and
said
Dragons.
Oh, we just did that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. So, as usual, our returning sponsor is Geekified. Geekified is a tabletop gaming store out of Vinton, Iowa that takes online and in-store orders for all of your tabletop role-playing game needs. As this episode broadcasts, this will be actually really close to Christmas. I think this will be just a week away
Is that a new thing?
from Christmas. I think this goes out on the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this one goes out on the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sweet.
if you're looking for any last-minute Christmas ideas for all of the nerdy people in your life, and let's face it, if you're watching this show, you know a few, including the 4 of us.
I'm not doing that face.
I'm doing that face for you.
Fine.
There you go. And if you feel like sending anyone a Christmas gift, like maybe a copy of Strixhaven, you can go pick it up from Geekified. And if you want to help us out, you can use our link to do so. The link to use is geekified.us/discount/dice and dungeons. If you use that link on your first purchase, you'll get 5% off of your order. And every time you use that link and buy something through Geekified, you help us out and you help our sponsor out. And Geekified has been a wonderful sponsor to us. We greatly appreciate all the support they've given us over this time. And I'm still trying to work out if we can do a giveaway for another item. So if we do work that out, here's my throw to myself, where I'll cut myself in later.
Unless you saw it last week.
Well, I mean, it might have happened last week too. We could have a couple weeks of giveaway.
Yeah.
So it might happen here. And if it does, go me.
Wow, Lexi, that was a great ad read. I'm excited,
was.
maybe.
It was great. You know,
I didn't see anything. It just seemed like you just did that and then just continued as normal.
I
You didn't see all that with
gotta
the
say, I
robots
enjoy-
and the...
I do enjoy throwing to myself. That's great. Just take it away from me.
That's how I played catch my whole life.
Just throw it up high, run over.
One time it didn't come back. That was a really sad day.
No.
He's in a better place now.
Yeah. Probably not in your hands.
Wow.
I think that
You're
brings
so mean now, Greg.
us to the end of our sponsors. So,
I'm trying to learn
I
your...
don't believe we have any further announcements.
Nines is a bad influence on you.
You are.
You shouldn't listen to him at all.
With that dungeon,
Yes.
Let's roll.
So, Dungeoneers, yeah, let's roll.
Okay.
Last week, on Dice and Dungeons,
That was 10 minutes ago.
the party emerged victorious from their battle with Brukelion, a member of the Ulfstein Gratfels and his forces, freeing the changelings he held prisoner in the process. Ulseth and Soria spent time learning more about Brukelion's plan from an elf that had accompanied him. Apparently, he's after some sort of changeling device. What Soria and the matriarch of the now freed changelings, Tiran, believed may be an Orat Mal, a religious artifact of the changelings that gives the power to transmute matter. Soria also learned that Tiran is part of what was believed to be a lost changeling clan, the Buria. And now Soria knows that other missing clans are out in the world waiting to be found. We rejoin our heroes as they enter the once sealed changeling city, chasing Brukelion deeper into the ruins. Along with the help of the captain, let's see what awaits them next.
Well, this looks like a very large city.
Yes, we just unsealed it.
And walked in.
And resealed it.
Yes.
I am very adept at getting lost in places like this.
Maybe we can use new technology to not get lost.
You think so?
Yes, turn your thing on.
My thing?
What
The thing
thing?
that points north.
Oh, my orb of direction. That's not new. We've had that forever.
It's new to me.
What?
It's new to me.
No, that's because I never use it. But now I do. I get my orb of direction
Okay.
just to help us stay oriented.
Even though we are lost.
We just started.
No.
Do you know where we are?
Yes, at the entrance.
I would like to. Is there? Do we? So how? This is a large city, correct?
Yes. The outer walls, at their shortest parts, were 30 feet tall. The doors themselves and the large towers that were on either side of them shot up from the earth at least 70 feet.
Was there any damage on these? Like, obviously things were sort of
No.
partially ruined, but like, there's not a sign of a battle or invasion or anything.
Nothing.
Are there street signs?
No.
Are there numbers on the sewer openings?
You didn't see any sewer openings.
Like,
You don't see.
move.
You don't see numbers on buildings.
Do we see a tabaxi food truck?
No. Don't see a tabaxi food truck.
So, you who are Zoria, are you Zoria at the moment?
Yeah.
You're going to be Zoria for a while?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. This transmute stone that you are seeking, that we believe is hidden in this city,
The Orat Mall.
Herat Mall. Yes, is this usually kept according to your traditions in a certain location within your cities or towns? Is it, for example, in the tallest building? Is it hidden in a nondescript building? Is there anything that could help us find it?
If Jarella mirrored this city after Anrissa, in the myths, the Orat Mall of all the clans were held in a temple citadel in the very center of the city beneath a spire.
Do we see a spire?
No, would you like me to describe your surroundings at this point?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me pull up a couple of hints. Until. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna fill in some more changeling stuff while you were looking, but you finished earlier than me.
Please go ahead.
At its height, Anrissa had 12 of the 21 clans in it. and they housed all 12 of the Orat Mall in this central spire, sort of in hopes of eventually unifying them into a single one, like the clans were in Onrissa before the collapse.
So perhaps in this city it would be the same, that there would be a building that would hold.
If Jarella was as religious as Turan said, then I would suspect that he would follow those sorts of, unless things have changed in the telling of them over the millennia.
Well, it is at least a clue.
So now that I've said that, we'll look at our surroundings.
Okay. I am pulling up.
Were we just in a huddle, just like we walked in, just like huddled up?
Just sort of getting our bearings, yeah.
Don't want to disorient ourselves. in
Looking
the
for a
location.
food truck.
Your cousin has that food truck, right?
Yes, the cousin that I remember name of. Yes, that one.
Do you want me to look it up?
No.
Okay. Would you like a bottle of wine?
No.
All right. As you enter the city, the doors closing behind you, the road that you stand on is not quite as glistening or as smooth as the walls that had surrounded this great town. They are a little rougher. Not necessarily coarse, but certainly not smooth. It is a porous surface. Seems likely to aid in friction. Good people have good traction here. It feels different under your feet, unlike any other material you've ever been on. It's forgiving. As you step on it, it gives just ever so slightly under your foot, but remains firm. And it throws you off first. You try pressing further in, trying to test this material that has a little bit of a give, but the more you press, you find it has no further give. It's almost as though the streets themselves are loaded with some sort of shock absorption. The buildings that surround you, you can tell that there's bits of paint remaining on them. Just small flecks still cling to some of the walls, which are smoother than the streets, but not as smooth as the walls you saw outside. Probably just enough to let paint adhere to it. They are firm and unbroken. Nothing around you shows any sign of wear to the material. You see some fabrics that hang from outside of buildings, and the paint has already exposed itself to have worn away. But the structures seem untouched by the passage of time. There's not a stain, no moss, no mildew, nothing grows on them, even though you're in a jungle. The buildings sit on either side of you. You're on sort of a main thoroughfare. There are alleyways and smaller roads that lead out from each side. You seem to be roughly in the center of these buildings. They go off into the distance until you can't really keep track of where they are anymore. The scale of this place is hitting you, as it truly is enormous. You look out ahead, maybe a quarter mile, a bit further. You see that this road comes to an end and splits off into a T-junction with another. There are buildings between 1 and 3 stories that are on either side of you. A bit further back from the streets, you see some that are taller, 4, 5, 6 stories tall. Directly ahead of you, there's a large, what seems to be, by its design, military fortification. The walls there that surround this, and you can see little parapets coming up in the corners and periodically on the straits. They tower almost 100 feet into the air. And then behind that, and just over the tops of some of the buildings, you see these pyramidal glints. They almost appear gold at this distance. Reflecting the sunlight, you can't tell if it's just the light of the sun or the material reflecting back, but there seems to be this incredible luminescence to it. These pyramids sit on top of large, obelisk-like structures, but there is no writing on them. They're smooth. They appear scattered about. From where you sit, you can't quite make out how to get to any of these places, but you can see 3 of them from where you are. And that is where you find yourselves at the moment.
So how does this compare to Tabaxify?
To give you a little bit more of an idea, I'm going to show you. You can see just that little bit.
There's more food trucks in Tabaxavoy. Better.
I guess that's true. There is not a lot of food trucks here.
That's one right there.
Oh, is that your cousin?
And currently, you will stand. As I make this significantly smaller, you all stand about there, where that new dot has been made.
Are there doors on these buildings?
Yes, several of the buildings seem to have doors. Others just have entryways.
Changelings do know what doors are.
There's glass in all of the windows.
I want to look into one of those windows.
Okay.
Don't be a...
Is there anything in particular that you want to see?
I just want to eat.
So you can pick a random window to look in. It seems to perhaps have one point been a clothing store, as far as you can tell. There's just the tattered remains of what you recognize as the vague shape of a mannequin. You see some metallic structure and some wood, and it's faded away.
Are there any paintings on the inside that were protected from the elements at all?
A few buildings have some interior decorations that are painted. They seem to be much like you'd find in any city. They show images of changelings gathered around, laughing at tables, looking out at vistas. It seems maybe to be sort of mood setting in a few of these places.
What do their clothes look like in the paintings? Yours?
Not entirely dissimilar from things you wear today.
Are there any hats that survive decomposing?
Or magic shoes?
Or pretzels.
You look around on this thoroughfare for a few minutes, and you find you think maybe a tailor's shop that There's a couple pieces that somehow I've held up. The door is sealed, but you can see them through the window.
No, that's
Unlock door.
no, it's sealed. It's animal handling.
I quit.
I will go up to the door. Does it look locked, or is it like what do you mean by sealed? I want to check the door.
The doors, which you recognize because they are set back from the frames. There's space. They have no handle. They have no lock. No visible hinges.
Just put your hand on
It's a
it.
solid slab.
Put your hand on it and say, "Open, please."
I put my hand on the door and say, "Open, please."
Nothing happens.
I put my hand on the door and say, "Open, please." In Sulani.
Nothing happens.
I put my hand on the door and say, "I'd like to buy some clothes, please." In Sulani.
Nothing happens.
I pull out Acrobashular and hit the window.
Still, nothing happens.
I knock on the door.
Just no sign of change.
Both of you try.
I think we will have as much success as we used to have against bars and sewers.
In the name of Jarella, open, please.
Nothing happens.
Your city sucks. I can't go anywhere.
It's not my city. I've never been here.
And the bags of why we don't have locks.
Really?
Yes, they all got stolen.
Really?
Um,
Well, what my family told me.
let's walk down to the T junction.
I'm just gonna try and walk in through the door. Do I run into it?
No, you do not run into it, but it does not open. You kind of just, okay, you'll press up against it. Doesn't seem to respond to anything you do to it.
What do you want, door? Tell me.
There's no answer.
Could you detect magic here?
I can do that once.
Or I can.
If you want to
I
use
can
it on this
I can
door.
ritual cast it. It would probably be good for me to just periodically ritual cast detect magic while we're in here. Right?
Sure, we have nothing else to do except explore an endless city
I don't.
than to spend our entire day attempting to get in through this door.
Captain, how do you get treasure that's unattainable?
Usually I steal it.
How do we steal, though?
Well, when you see something you want that isn't yours and you don't have any other way of obtaining it, you simply take it
But how do you steal someone's heart?
by charming them endlessly. I suppose.
Has that ever worked for you?
I like to do
I don't think I've ever tried.
I like to do a persuasion check on the door.
Okay.
Hey, open the door. I think you should let me through. That's an 11. No, sorry, that's a 9.
That's number.
It is best number.
Nothing happens.
I pull out my club and I threaten it.
Okay.
Will you open? I'll smash you open.
Let's head towards the Citadel.
That's a 26. Your intimidation check on the door.
You don't see any change?
I hit the door with it then, and then I'll give up.
When you strike the door with your club is absorbed into the door momentarily, almost as though you're hitting putty. And then it's shoved back out, and the door goes back to its normal shape.
I'll try and Sulani. I'm the daughter of Onrisa. Please open. I'm trying the code words I used before.
It shows no sign.
Alright. I don't think we're getting through this door.
I can do one other stupid thing.
Okay. One more stupid thing.
I just have to.
We do have a time of opening.
There was a nice hat in there, right?
There might have been.
It looks pretty nice, sure.
It's 1,000 years old. It's just gonna fall apart as soon as you touch it.
No, I think this will create more chaos.
What is it?
I pull out my cape.
Oh no!
Say, I want to go inside that shop.
You just need to think it.
Yeah, because I can see where I want to go.
Yep.
I step back when you pull out your. By the way, I'm like, nope.
So you're using your Cloak of the Montebank
Yes.
to dimension door self into
Yes.
this.
10 feet to my left.
You find yourself inside.
I grab the
Goodbye,
thing.
not.
I tap on the glass.
Glass.
I would like to pick up the item that I was looking at.
You pick up the hat. It's in very good condition, actually.
I put on said hat.
Nice hat. It's just slightly large for you. Like it fits, but it doesn't fit like perfect.
Zora!
Poor.
Free hats!
Can you free yourself?
I don't know!
Is there anything else in there?
That's a good question. I looked. Is there anything else that I couldn't see from outside?
You see what kind of has the normal appearance of like a merchant. There's a couple of counters. Most of the shelves are bare. You see,
Zora, there's lots of bears in here!
You talk to the animals.
you see the remaining threads of some items that must have been here long, long ago. There's a surprisingly thin layer of dust inside.
Look behind the counter for reject magic items.
I go behind the counter and rummage around their shelves.
You find some papers that fall to dust the moment you touch them. And little else.
There's nothing else here. I will leave now.
Good luck.
I go to the door.
Okay, you're at the door.
Happens.
I try to open it.
Does not open.
I walk. I just try shoving it. I try pulling it.
How much air is in there, by the way?
I go to the window and I start pawing at it. Gloria, I'm stuck.
You know,
We get through absolutely, I mean, everything. You know,
Just the-
giant clams that are not oysters, you know, undead zombies that spew.
But a locked shop.
We even survived the slippery floor.
We don't even have a description of what the hat looks like.
And Nines is
It
now
was a nice
and
hat.
Nines is now lost to us
do you
forever.
know, picture Disney's Robin Hood, right? Picture Robin Hood in that
So it's on
box.
front pointy.
Yeah, front pointy.
Is it green?
Robin Hood hat. No, this one happens to be red.
Does it have
Does
a
it?
feather?
Yeah.
It no longer has a feather. The feather, you can see what remains of the feather, but the feather long ago decayed.
Mechanical question. If she turns into a parrot and I pull a feather out, does the feather disappear when she changes back?
Can't turn into flying creatures
Not yet.
in a level.
I would say no, magical bullshit.
So we
You
can't.
can keep the feather.
Yes.
So I could just keep turning into a mammoth like multiple times a day, and we could run an ivory trade, like without being like, you know, killing animals.
Well,
Strike
the only
that.
ethical.
Strike that.
Right.
And magically disappear.
So what? Now we've got about what 2.5 hours of game time left to watch nines. Not be able to get out of.
Slowly suffocate in a fish tank.
See, what I really like now is I have to get a picture of like nines inside one of those crane machines, just
you
like
know-
trying to get out while the two of you just stare.
Just the other week, just several days ago, there was a post on Twitter that I responded to asking DMs what your opinion is on fudging rolls or changing rules mid-game without telling the players to just help the outcome. And I said in this that I'm actually, generally speaking, emergency situations can come up, but in almost every case, I would never do that because I find that the story is it's just about universally better when you let the rolls just happen. Take, for example, about 20 sessions ago when you guys went and hunted down this big bad street gang leader who I took quite a bit of time crafting as kind of this mini boss thing, and as the rolls happened, he stumbled around like an idiot, fell over his own barrel, sprained his ankle, and you guys beat him handily like he was an inept moron.
I think we bonked him.
Yes, you bonked him. And that's what happens when you don't change the rolls, because if I had been changing the rolls to make that fight more like it was supposed to be, in my head at least, that wouldn't have happened. But it was better
Do you have
that
fights
way.
in your head?
And
Does it hurt?
it does. And now I find myself in a situation where you have gotten yourself into a building that you can't seem to escape from.
Is that Ulseth carrying the chime of opening?
And I have a specific process for how you were to open up some of these buildings and gain access. Little did I suspect you would use your cloak to dimension door inside of one of these buildings.
You can get out in a day.
Yes, if we wait a day, I can get out.
I'm
my.
just gonna put my hand on the door and go through all sorts of Solani phrases.
How long do you want to spend?
We have a day.
I'll start with 10 minutes.
After about 10 minutes, you get yourself to you're now
I knock on the
reciting bits of Sulani poetry that you remember. Nothing is working.
I knock on the window. You who are nines,
Yes, Olsef.
I think you should look around everywhere inside of that building to see if there is another way out. Perhaps there is a sewer. You are good at that.
Or a hatch on the roof.
Or a secret button.
Can I do an investigation in the room?
Yeah, like a button
Sure.
behind the counter.
We got a 15.
No pressures here. You can take your time on this. Look around. Find another hatch. Why not?
Wait, is there another hat in here?
No, why did you say that?
Nope. Nope, there's no other hat, in fact. There's basically nothing at all. There's this hat and a couple of frayed mannequins. Some...
The mannequin's moving.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is not our Halloween special.
Can we get to behind the mannequin and move it around and try to scare Soria?
It's not really that kind of mannequin. It's more just like the torso kind of mannequin. And then there's like just like a head kind of mannequin with like rest hats on. So
Is there a small slot near the door in the frame or anything? No.
I think we're gonna have to use the chime to get him out. It has limited uses. We don't know how many. And this is apparently one of those times.
Oh, God. Or we could just wait a day.
Ooh, panthers.
I am looking up the rules on Chime of Opening because I want to see if this would affect the rules I established for this place.
Why don't we just find out how to open the door?
I've been trying for 10 minutes.
Have you tried picking it?
I tried to pick the lock that doesn't exist.
Okay.
I take out
Yeah,
my.
I know whether. I now know whether the chime of opening will or will not work.
Well, good for you.
Well, I needed to know that.
Just in case.
If it doesn't work, does it still count as a use?
Yes.
Yes, you used it. There was just nothing there. If a tree falls in the woods,
Is there a sign on the building anywhere, like something that identifies it?
there are the occasional scraps of paint on buildings, but you don't see anything that signify this. Occasionally you see bits of what you think is some sort of script.
But like,
You have- It looks vaguely like the written Sulani language, but you have no idea what it says. It shares some characteristics, but this is like trying to read 800 to 1,000-year-old like English manuscript kind of stuff. You know, you can see some signs that this is probably where your language once was, and it stayed in stasis here.
So, you Horror Nines, have you found the secret door that opens into the cellar that goes into the sewer?
And back into the tangy crab.
If that is what is necessary.
Yeah, did my investigation turn up anything? Or is it just a blank?
There's not much in here to find. There's a little back room that seems to have been at one point a storeroom. It's pretty empty in here.
Is there a thing that would have looked like the open close sign?
No. The city looks pretty abandoned.
I'll try saying like, it's safe now. You can please unseal.
The door boss. This is.
Just use.
I didn't
chime.
expect a mini boss
use the
in
chime.
the door.
What else are we gonna do?
Wait a day.
You just really don't want to use the chime, dude.
I will.
So you
It can have
guys,
upwards of 10 uses.
you guys have now been here for.
Almost the entire session. We're going to waste the entire session.
You guys have been here
Watching
now
Nines.
for about 40 minutes in
Yeah.
world time,
Uh-huh.
trying to.
Nine.
It only took us 5 minutes to get the cat stuck.
Okay.
And-
Nines, stand near the door. If the chime works,
You're
get
not-
out quickly. You don't.
And you're not allowed to look in other.
What the hell does it mean getting in other buildings?
That's true. For a day.
Are you ready for the opening attempt?
Sure. I stand by the door.
Target the building and not the door, because it just says object in the chime.
The entire building. I will
Maybe.
waste one of the. Maybe there are remaining charges. I don't even know
Or
that.
just try the door. It's a door.
With the chime of opening.
Yeah, use the chime on the door.
Here, do you want to ring the gong?
No. I bring up my little bell.
This is just so amusing. I didn't realize I designed a trap. I just made buildings that didn't open.
Should have put something interesting in there.
A hat. Sand hat.
It's Nines.
You know better.
Clearly. Oh,
Don't put mundane objects
what-
behind
what
around 9.
What are the odds of a DM putting a mundane item and then one of their player characters using their time-sensitive item, one-shot man, one-way trip to go into there to retrieve it?
You know, you guys are right. This really is on me, isn't it?
It is. Does the door open?
Ding.
The door does not open,
Of course not.
but instead, it sort of melts down into a puddle.
Nice. Get out quick.
I melted the door.
Get out quick.
Hey, get out. Can we scoop up the puddle?
On your time of opening, please mark one use. You do not know how many uses remain, but
If
you
it
have
didn't-
used it once.
If it didn't break, we have at least one more. Is the puddle still?
If you wait a few moments,
I tried scooping it up right away.
Yeah, I'll put it in a bottle.
okay.
Please add bottle of door.
Pour in a bottle, please.
I think it's really great that you spend days and days and days and days,
I've,
and then
yep. Yep. Like I
so
said,
when
I did not.
when DM dailies start, you're going to talk about TPKs.
Well, I was
Your
going to do a
party
video on
pisses you off.
TPKs and
Why it's a bad thing?
why it's not something to necessarily glorify like we do. I don't know. I'm rethinking that video right now. So.
Yeah, what would be really bad is if instead of killing the characters,
Kill the player.
Players.
the players. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing stopping you three from just abandoning nines until tomorrow.
So
I was
you,
okay with that. I was going to do that.
It can't possibly be okay in your code for you to do that.
There's nothing in the code about incredible.
Do not
If you are
leave
incredibly stupid, I will be smart for you. No, it's like if you are weak, I'll be strong. If you're afraid, I'll be
Mine
brave.
did. That
If
counts.
you're incredibly stupid, no, there's nothing in the code about
Do
it.
we get the door in the bottle?
as you try to scoop up the door puddle, you can't move the liquid. Every time you try to grab it, it falls back through your fingers, and then after a few moments, it sort of forms back into a door. You watch a liquid flowing upward, and it goes back in.
Have I ever used an Orat Mall before?
No.
Laura, you told me you understood how doors work.
Yeah, I do.
You just bragged about how you had doors and you can't open. Anyway, I got a nice hat.
It's a nice hat.
It's very nice.
It doesn't have a feather though.
Yeah. It
We
looks
won't get the
incomplete.
feather. Is it magical?
I don't know.
Let's take 10 minutes to find out.
We had plenty of time.
I'll do a quick look for arcane runes with my Arcana skill, but I'm not gonna detect magic. Is it magic? I don't feel like I need to roll. 'cause it's
Is
not.
what magic are you asking? Are you asking the door is
The
magic?
hat.
No.
I don't think so.
That's like insultingly not magic.
Nines, do you need a feather?
Yes, I need your mother.
All right, you owe me though, okay? This is a special feather. I give you the Sphinx Feather.
Ooh. Is this magical?
I mean, it's from a magical creature, the one from Ira's tomb.
I put the Sphinx Feather into my hat.
You have a Sphinx feather in your hat?
Well, this is a great adventure.
I'll remove it.
This is the best adventure we've ever been in.
Let's head to the Citadel.
We walked down the street toward the military-looking building that's in front of us, because that's
And
really
keep our eyes
unless we get
locked forward.
unless we
I
decide that
run
we
forward and look through every window.
Would you rather go down some of these alleys and get lost in the Warren and never find our way back to a main street again?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Or do you want to just walk down the road?
Why are you acting like I'm the one who teleported into building?
You are our captain.
I'm afraid to answer, yes.
Yes. Will you please keep an eye on Nines and not allow him to do that sort of thing again?
Why is it my responsibility?
We paid you.
You adopted him.
Not nearly enough for this.
Premium service.
We walk down the main street toward the T junction where there appears to be a large
The big
military sort of ish building.
Okay. I'm revealing a bit more of the map. There. You find yourself now standing there.
Mm-hmm. Looking up in admiration at the very large building.
You are in front of another gate similar to the front gate to the city. The large military looking building stands in front of you. These gates are slightly smaller than the main gates to the city, although the walls are taller. This truly seems to be a deeply fortified area. You see to your north and south that the road continues and bends out, arcing, both of them, eventually towards the east.
Do you want to try your magic on this door like you did when we first came in?
Sure. I'll put my hand on the gate and say, my name is in Sulani. My name is Soria Riantian Sul, daughter of Sulani clan and Anrissa. In the name of Jarrell and Anristo, open.
No response.
Please.
No response.
It's probably more high security since it's like a military thing.
Mm-hmm. Unlike the whole city.
These walls look like the outside walls,
Yes.
material-wise,
Yes, even
but
the
much taller.
and even the structure. You may remember I described the exterior walls of this city as sloping towards you, so that the outer area is further out. Sorry, the upper area is further away towards you than the inner area, so that you could not easily climb them.
So would you like to go north or south?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting in here. Let's go north.
Okay.
Turn left.
You go northward. This distance,
That does look
it's
good.
about a quarter mile, and the road begins to turn. See some of the buildings around. And you are now about there.
Are any of the doors open?
No. There are places where doorways are open that seem to have no door. There's no crease or seam where this entryway to these buildings would have had a door, it seems. So there are some buildings you can just walk right into.
No walking into
I'm
building.
only at 9.
I go into nearest open door.
The nearest doorway seems to be some sort of residential building. There It reminds you vaguely of the company house that you've stayed at.
I look for a steward.
I'll look for the money that was stolen.
Fine,
Oh, that
either.
would be very helpful. Thank you. Is there a buffet?
No, there's no buffet.
Is there a place where there used to be a buffet?
No. What
We missed the banana.
Yeah.
what seems to
We always miss the buffet.
The continental
what
breakfast.
seems to be this sort of residential building. There's a sort of reception desk. It strikes you as similar to the ones at the company houses you've seen, where some sort of clerk might sit, ready and waiting to assist people who are staying here, perhaps living here. For all you know, this could be similar to a hostel or a hotel, even a company house. You know that the mercenary companies are quite old. Maybe there was an outpost here, you have no idea. The rest of the building past this is fairly straightforward. It's hallways, some doors on either side, and a stairway leading upwards. The doors are all closed. Nothing appears to be open.
Let's continue down the street.
Mm-hmm. Are these the same sorts of doors that we've seen before that are not really doors, or are they really like hinged doors?
All the doors that you see are much like the one that you encountered. They are doors only in the sense that you know this is supposed to be a doorway. Otherwise, this is more aptly described as a wall.
Seeing
It
how
is
the door
smooth and without features.
Seeing how the door worked, I'm going to run a quick test since we're here at a closed door. And put my hand on it and attempt to, if this is all powered by an Orat Mall like they said, I'm going to try to connect to it and like mentally meditate a little and change the shape of the door as if I was changing myself.
Okay. So you're touching the door?
Yeah.
Describe what are you focusing on? What do you
I focus on
describe what exactly you want to do to the door?
I focus. I think of the sensation of changing my shape and envision the door becoming liquid.
As you do so, the door, just ever so slightly, becomes a little drippy. It starts to lose its cohesion, but just so.
I'll picture it opening all the way as I continue.
A small pinhole appears to open in the door. Tiny, but visible. Maybe a centimeter wide.
I think I need practice.
Opening doors.
As you stop focusing, the door immediately reverts and snaps back into its usual state.
I think I'm starting to see how this place works at least.
What are you doing anyway?
I was shape changing the door. Or trying to.
Can I try?
Sure.
I go up to the door,
Okay.
put my hand on it,
Okay.
think about it opening.
Okay. Describe how you think about it opening.
I imagine Olsef kicking it open.
Where on the door do you imagine this?
How tall is the door compared to Olsef?
The door is about an 8-foot doorway, so it's a little less than a foot taller than Ulseth is.
I imagine him trying to kick it straight in the middle. After he says, "You who are door."
Surrender
Surrender.
or be kicked.
And then it didn't surrender, and then he kicks it.
What is the result of Ulseth's kick?
Well, he rolled a nat 20,
Okay.
and his foot goes through, and the whole thing shatters.
Okay.
Imaginary Ulseth is a lot more badass in Nice Imagining.
Make a wisdom check.
That is a 15.
The door shows signs of just some slight fracturing around the material.
I think
And as you stop focusing, startled by the shift in appearance, it snaps back.
we're trying two difficult things. I'll put it on my hand and try and focus on the door just gently swinging open. Just imagining the door gently swing open.
You focus on this, and to be clear, mechanically, the reason that I'm asking for wisdom checks from Nines is because Nines is not used to doing this sort of thing, whereas Soria has been doing this sort of thing most of her life. So it is more natural. And you are experienced, basically.
She's proficient in opening doors.
Yeah.
I am.
Picking locks in less than 5 minutes.
I'm a master
She gets to add her
of
proficiency
unlocking.
bonus to door opening. None of you, save for Ulseth, are proficient in stair climbing.
No.
Yeah, we're casually ignoring that staircase.
Good thing that the city is all on one level.
The door just budges maybe about a centimeter, and the moment you stop focusing, it snaps back.
Hey, Zoria,
Yeah,
why don't we both try it?
sure.
How we imagine it be opening?
It's good to learn about how all this magic stuff works here. Now in a safe environment. Wouldn't you agree, also?
Yes,
Why don't you come and imagine with
You want
us?
me to imagine
Let's all
the door?
imagine the door opening together. It's opening on the left side and swinging
In?
This is the
inward.
worst cover song I've ever heard.
What?
Imagine
Oh,
the doors open.
at the start of the pandemic,
Okay.
we heard a pretty bad cover of that.
That implies there's a good
Captain,
cover of it.
come imagine with us.
All right. Let me do my best.
All right, I'll imagine.
Everyone roll a wisdom check,
Except me.
except you.
I got a 5.
You're just thinking about that song now.
Meow, 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 meow.
It's hard to read. Sixes and zeros look a lot alike. 11.
Okay. And nines.
5.
The four of you concentrating on the door together in a single action. The door begins to move. First 1, then 2, then 6 inches. Small opening appears. And
Since I clearly wasn't concentrating on the door, can I jump through that small gap?
it's not large enough. And the moment that you take your hand away, and stop focusing, the others feel it, and it disrupts the thought. And the door snaps back closed.
Did you move your fingers in time?
No!
All right, so we've sort of learned how this place works now, which is a good thing. Let's continue down the street.
Okay. Let me reveal a bit more here. Checking my notes.
Nine. You rascal.
The next time you get trapped behind a door, you just sit there and wait until your cloak comes back.
I just imagine you like saying that while I'm like behind you, and then you turn around and I'm inside another building.
We all wave goodbye. Nice seeing you. Nice knowing you.
You come back 24 hours later, I'm just sleeping in front of the windowsill.
In the sun.
Okay. And you after traveling a bit further down the road, continues, and you find yourself at a junction. There's a road that goes north, and you can see down it a little ways. And then further ahead, there's an intersection. It splits off north and south. Off to your south, there's a spire that seems fairly close. And off to the north here, you can see
These are the obelisks.
this is one of these obelisk-like structures.
Let's go check out an obelisk.
Definitely. We make our way to the obelisk, not looking in any windows or any doors on the way. Not even allowing Nines to turn his
Are
head.
you just carrying nines at this point?
No, the captain is in charge.
Oh.
Nines.
It's this candy store.
It may have been at one point. I've seen nothing inside it.
Well, I could really use some candy right now.
Hey, Captain, you spent a lot of time.
Here. He pulls out a little piece of chocolate.
I expected Werther's Originals for some reason.
Why?
I don't know. It seems like good pocket candy. You spent a lot of time staring down at this city from a hill, right?
Yes?
You have an idea of its layout?
I can't say I've ever logged that away in my memory.
Okay.
Maybe the most passing glance of the layout stored in my head, but
Was there a large central structure?
I believe there was something, yes. Some sort of big staircase, sort of pyramidal thing. I don't know how to describe. And the way that the sun hits these buildings, a lot of the details get lost when staring at a distance. It's something that you can easily understand as these gleaming white structures bounce the light in odd ways, creating a lot of detail. And things appear even flatter than the surfaces are.
Now, let's walk up to the
Obelisk?
obelisk-like object.
I'd like to walk around it and inspect it.
Okay. When you go to the obelisk, I'm revealing a bit more of the map here.
That hat's probably gonna be like the secret key to enter the final chamber.
It's all
Find
gonna wrap
yourself next to
around.
the obelisk now. You see a road that stretches far eastward. A long thoroughfare. The road you just traveled is nearly a mile in length. You are the dark dot near the obelisk. I'll highlight that a little bit more for you so you know where you are for sure.
We are there.
It's nice to have that map. That points that arrow.
The obelisk. It is not as we might think of an obelisk. sides, writing and hieroglyphs on it. No. The sides are smooth, and it is round, smooth, almost more pillar, like a spire. Just shooting, you're guessing more than 100 feet. Maybe 120 or so. Up into the air. At the top, you see from the angle, standing at its base, the faintest glint of whatever is on top of this. The base of this is marked in the road by a simple brick-like pattern that surrounds it. Seems to be ornamentation. But other than that, no more significance is paid to this than almost anything else. And it's almost as it blends into the city. Beyond it, to its north and west, the buildings fade away a bit, and you see some green space, which has largely been taken over by the jungle. There are buildings in there, just like the others. No plant life, no molds, mildews, lichen, mosses, anything cling to it. They're pristine. And it's not as thick as the jungle outside, but is certainly overgrown.
Is there any doors
Or markings. Anything.
on the base of the pillar or in the bricks around it?
There's nothing that you can see.
I'll put my hand on the pillar and instead of envisioning something, let it try and open myself to let it communicate to me.
You spend a moment or two trying to commune with this. You get no input back.
Okay.
It's not giving you any indication that it is able to respond back.
Maybe we'll learn more about these later.
To the north there, is there like maybe an old park or something? An old green space, is that what it is?
Could have been a park. Don't see any outward signs of what you would know as a park. You've seen them in cities, there's sort of paths and some benches and things, but you don't see anything like that here.
Is there a pond?
Not within what you can see, no.
Does the obelisk look like the unscalable wall material, or is it more like the buildings?
It's slightly different. The obelisk has whereas this is more of a
Pillar.
marble white. The walls are more of like a marble. More of an ivory one. A subtle shift, but noticeable. It's a little less bright on this large pillar. It's less smooth than the walls, even a bit less smooth in the buildings. But as you touch it, it feels warm. Not hot, just it's warm to the touch. And it's sort of a pleasant feeling.
These might be the things that are creating the sort of defensive aura around the city.
Would they have one of those stones in them?
Not in one of these, no.
No. It is like a transmitter or whatever that is.
Is that a Ferventech thing?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't know what it means, but
No.
I'm glad you're learning.
Could this, I have been reading about it, it could be sending, it is a thing that sends out invisible signals.
Like a mouth.
Yes, but it doesn't, you can't hear them.
Oh. Okay.
You need to have special fervent receiver to to capture the signal.
Like
Sometimes-
sometimes ears.
Yeah. Sometimes they just send out energy that other things can absorb and use.
I see. Well, do we want to just keep mapping out the city at least? Get a sense of like everything that's here?
Yes, let's absorb all flavor text.
Well, what do we see down that road going further east? It looks really long and straight.
It is quite long, longer than this road, longer than any other stretch you've currently been on. It sort of fades into the distance, and a bit of mist obscures further on. The jungle has had a low sort of precipitation, almost a fog, some haze that obscures your vision at a certain point.
Which direction do you want to go? I mean, we should probably just map as much as we can until we find something that...
Yeah, we have found a tower that does not seem to, that seems to be warm and pleasant.
I have a tabaxi god swirling around my feet.
I would like to go back south and go to the T-junction and go north to see how
What's in that little corner?
Yeah. What?
So
might
you
be
would
in
like
there.
to come down
Yeah,
there
Yes,
and then go north.
and then turn north.
Yeah.
assuming there's not anything trying to kill us over there.
Right?
I think Ulsa's close. Trying to kill her.
One moment while I...
It's not sense.
There was a
He
moment-
just assumes that I will get killed on my own accord.
I did not wish. I did not wish to kill him, but I was willing to let him sit there for a day.
The code doesn't say he has to save me.
I think it might, actually.
No, remember it said, "If you are weak, I will be strong." If you
He's
are-
weak-willed.
But there was nothing that said, "If you are incredibly stupid beyond belief, I will be smart for you."
Are you sure?
Yes.
Maybe that's what Gotham means.
Well, perhaps that elf we have captured will tell me that later.
I think I'll just spit on you more.
I think that it is a magic word that makes elves spit. That is
You
very
wanna-
disappointing. I
You want
expected
here? I'll
more.
turn into an elf.
Gratstun Balim.
Yeah.
I really did expect more.
I just turned back into him. Sorry.
Okay. So,
Do I see anything
you
interesting
are
in the windows?
now...
You're not allowed to look in the windows.
It's not
Yeah.
your job to watch me. It's the captain's job.
Oh,
He's not
man.
doing a very good job of it.
I wonder if they have to stack these here.
You are now there.
Oh, it is a parallel.
And you look down that road that heads eastward, and you see another one of these huge towering pillars at the end of it.
Let's go down there.
Let's go down to the tower.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've grown every time map is revealed. At least we're not drawing it on our own this time.
Yeah, that would be.
This is actually quite
We would
nice.
have actually been very lost by now.
You know, after going through a few dungeons with you all, it occurred to me that I worked just a little bit of my
Digital magic.
digital magics. And with a little preparation for larger ones, I could make these maps for you. As long as you know, the possibility of missing something, getting turned around isn't like kind of the danger in the dungeon, because that's part of dungeon map, you know, crafting is sometimes that's part of it. So for a city where you're not under any pressure, not being attacked, I thought it'd be nice. So
So I would like to
Here you
quickly
are.
just go north.
To see if it connects.
That elbow there, and that turns to the left to see if they connect and if it's just the straight road.
While he's doing that, I just want to quickly put my hand on this.
So
see if
you
it-
just you head up here.
just to see
Right.
if it.
Okay.
And then turn left a little bit to see what happens. Okay. I wanted to make sure we weren't missing anything.
Yeah. So you
You know,
fill out this.
Like a building with an open door.
There are a few larger buildings around this area that you've been able to find some. It seems to be maybe larger organizations are around here. They have a little bit more substance. You've been looking at these long enough where you've started to notice that on every building some sort of combination of lines and dots. I'll give you an example. One moment. While I go to
Like addresses.
that. One of the things that you see. Oops. You've seen this several times. Other times you've seen it with this. Some have a mark through. Some even are marked like so. I'll amplify these dots a bit more for the viewer.
Do these look like anything I'm familiar with?
No.
Eh.
And some, to give you an idea, have appeared. This, like this.
Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like a number 1 through 10.
You've seen a few with just that.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe.
But they're all changelings bad at math.
No? I'm great at math. Ask me any math question.
1 plus 9.
You don't know the answer to that.
What
Wow.
do you think happened to
Wait, 19.
Okay, so we've seen those on buildings.
And there's like multiples of those.
Yes, you've seen them several times.
Did we notice any pattern? No, because we weren't looking for one. Begin looking for patterns.
You find patterns everywhere.
No. But, so it's like we're walking down the street. So, for example, if we were to go due south and we were to look at the buildings, would it be like progressive as we went down? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So,
Without spending too much time, you're able to pick up on yes. There are collections of these symbols of various sorts, and you see that they do shift between each building in some sort of, increasing or decreasing fashion. You're not 100% sure what all of it means, but you've got a decent idea in your heads about some sort of numbering system, perhaps.
do they buildings just have like one of these, or would they like have multiples of them next to
chain.
each other?
Oh, yes, there are multiples, so you may see several box formations
like 2, 3, or even 4. Let's call them digits.
Yes, you may see as many as a dozen on a building.
Just to test, I want to see if this obelisk is also warm to the touch.
It is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep going. So,
Okay.
Go somewhere. Where would you like to go?
You are
south?
currently
Let's go window
where
shopping.
that dark dot is.
No.
You never know.
You
You
can't
might
stop
need
me
an
from
X.
looking in the windows.
If you see one for sale, you may buy it, but you must carry it yourself.
Let's head south.
A window, that is.
You wish to go size of that. You have to go down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks sort of like there's some sort of. We have some trees on our battle map. Grab those down.
Right.
Nines, did you see they had like a little, like, fake stuffed mouse in that building there?
What the where?
Oh, it was like a mile back. I think
Well, they might as well go back and check.
they had balls of yarn.
Do you think the backs here are just straight cats?
I assume they're not all straight, no.
Are you sure you haven't been to Tabaxavoy?
Pretty sure.
Great, the food truck's on every corner.
So, you who are 9s,
That's all, Seth.
yes, have you found a window that you wish to purchase in your window shopping expeditions?
Also, if window shopping is just looking at things and not buying them.
Then why do you call it shopping if you are not going to buy one?
I don't know. I did not come up with term.
Ah, that is a very weird thing.
You should
You
call
say,
it.
I am going window shopping, and then yet not purchasing a
It
window.
is really weird. Mine.
What would you call it if you actually were attempting to buy a window?
There's a thing.
Ah, a thing. I'm going to turn that off for a moment, pull up some notes on what you see here.
9s.
Soria?
Do you like the city?
I mean, it's okay. Except for the part where I got stuck.
What's your favorite Tabaxavoy food? So you're always talking about all the food trucks and Tabaxavoy, the food carts.
We have tacos.
Do you really?
Yes.
Are all of the food trucks taco trucks?
No. There's variety, but I only go to taco trucks.
Insight check. 15.
As you
Oh, we have a
enter,
fair. I rolled a 16, so I beat you.
as you enter the extremely large, well, it doesn't seem to quite do it justice, but like a courtyard, perhaps a square plaza.
It is quite square in shape.
You see a stunningly massive structure in front of you. A ziggurat. Towers above the surrounding city. Surrounded by walls. These walls are only maybe 15 feet tall. But they do separate the rest of the city from this central area. The ziggurat itself is the tallest object you've yet seen here. It stands even above the pillars you have come across, above the walls, and it has hundreds and hundreds of steps. that lead up to the top of it. Each stair is clearly inlaid with some sort of what you can only assume is gold. It glistens so brightly and so purely. This beautiful, rich yellow. And elaborate swirling patterns, perfectly straight lines all over the place. You don't know what to make of these inlays, but they are one of the more beautiful things any of you have ever seen. In the center of this plaza, it is more luminous than any part of the town you have been in, as though light itself was almost channeled here. And there's something just a bit different about it. The road that you have been on, that material ceases. And instead, there's a delicately designed surface now beneath your feet. It swirls in and out, making odd waveform patterns. And the shift of fractal design spiraling off over and over. And for all intents and purposes, given the scale, it seems almost into infinite proportions. It's mesmerizing to look at, and you could spend days here just awed by the beauty of all of this. But something equally haunting hits you as you realize that you are, the four of you, completely alone in a plaza that could have held tens of thousands of people, and may have likely done so in the past. There are areas with short little posts, maybe 8 feet tall, and then a few feet behind them, some a little taller, maybe 10 foot. You kind of recognize this. It could have been coverings for stalls with an area for cloth that has long since faded away. You get the sense that this was the center of the city in more ways than one. It's spiritual and maybe its trade center. There's an energy that you just can't shake that at one point, far, far in the past, was bustled with many souls of now long dead people.
Would this be the kind of structure that you were looking for?
If this is modeled after how Anrissa was supposed to be, then this might be where the Orat Mall is stored. And this, if the stories are true, this is just a shadow of what Anrissa would have been like.
I know that the two of you are not very good at stairs, but would you like to attempt to climb these?
I think if we go up, we can either find an entrance, or at the very least, we can maybe get a good view of the city.
At the very least, do you believe that it is safe then to climb on these stairs?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty tired, Dulcef. Can you carry me?
No.
If you had that cape, you could have teleported way up there.
Yes, but then I wouldn't have hats.
Let's climb up.
We will climb the stairs,
Okay.
making Nines walk on his own.
Do you want to get in my bag, Nine?
The cat will not get in your bag.
Okay.
All right.
You might not ever let the cat out of the bag.
The four of you
She could suffocate me.
climb for
Oh man, that'd be a good way to kill a boss.
an hour up these stairs. After 10 minutes of climbing, your even Ulseth is winded. The stairs are not so shallow and comfortable as a building that houses people for a residence. This is a challenge. They are steeper and shorter. Requires a great deal of exertion. You climb and climb. It takes you a great deal of effort to reach the top. Having to rest along the way. You do reach the top. And when you get there, bring this description up because I don't want to screw it up. It would be really bad.
You can't believe Olsef made me climb that whole way.
Wow, Seth, he was weak.
When you reach the top of the Ziggurat, there's a circular.
Just incredibly stupid. I have gone over my code with you many times. And I remember telling you over and over again that I do not need to be smart for someone.
Come on.
Stupid.
When you reach the top of the Ziggurat, there is a circular, shallow basin. It covers most of the top of this structure. It's only maybe 3 inches deeper than the surrounding material. There are 8 staircases that lead up to the top. And you see all of them are inlaid with these intricate lines. And at the apex of each staircase, there's a symbol similar to the ones you have seen. The west-facing stair. Is this symbol. Straight line. Drawn horizontally. The south. Sorry, I said the west facing stair. I meant the east facing stair. Excuse me. The southeast facing stair. There's 2 lines, one horizontal and one vertical, set on the right edge of the horizontal line going down beneath it. I'm trying to describe this for viewers that listen on the podcast. The southern stair.
Wouldn't they be listeners, not viewers?
Ear viewers.
Ear viewers, yes.
Ear watchers.
Thank you for ear watching us.
Yes. Southern staircase. There's a line matching the one above, making a U shape out of these lines. The were tipped 90 degrees to its left. Southwestern staircase completes the box. Now closed shape. The western staircase draws a line from the top left down to the lower right. In the northwest, from the top right to the lower left. Draws the same diagonal line. The north puts a single dot. Make that a little larger. Yes. And then northwest.
Northeast.
Northeast, excuse me. Did that backwards for some reason tonight. It's one more dot. Into the 2 dots that are appearing on the screen right now. First dot sits in the upper triangle, created in this shape. The second dot sits in the right triangle created by this shape. And that is the order of the symbols.
Which staircase did we come up?
The north one, I think.
You came up the north one.
So there's still two symbols that we haven't seen with the other two dots, right?
This is 1 through 8.
Oh, how shall the basin you describe? Is it like dropping like a foot? Is it like a deep?
No, it only dips about 3 inches or so. And it stays consistent across it. Just a shallow little dip and then consistent across it. When you look at that basin, you see that it too has some inlay in it. Same sort of gold material glinting off.
I'll walk into the center.
Yeah. When you enter the center of the Ziggurat, the surrounding sky becomes darker. And the Ziggurat itself begins to emanate light from all of the material, save for the inlay. It lights up, and then out of this basin surrounding you is a beam of light shooting straight upward.
Sorry,
Going
are you okay?
infinitely high into the sky. It does not hurt, but it is very bright. It is hard to see out of it. Partially blinds all of you. It's near impossible to look at. And then, after a few seconds, the beam fades. But the pyramid itself, the ziggurat, it's glowing still. And the 8 staircases are now channeling a beam of energy out linearly from the edges of each staircase. The 4 cardinal directions all travel down a road. You can see from the city, it goes out, and each of the cardinal directions hits a pillar. And the pillars themselves begin to glow. The 4 ordinal directions, they hit the corners of the walls of this perfect square, and the walls begin to glow. And the portions of the city that are next to those walls, the material of those buildings begins to emanate a soft white light from them. Similar to what the Ziggurat is doing, but far dimmer. And then, for a few moments, the light seems to fade, the intensity dimming, not extinguishing. And you see that the inlays themselves are now beginning to glow brightly. And their yellow light is concentrated, brighter than before.
So, how's it going?
Well, this was both amazingly beautiful and distressing. I wonder what is happening.
Can I,
Do you feel okay there in the center of this light?
do I feel okay?
Everyone feels fine.
This is warm in there.
Just where I peed.
Doubly so here.
Are there any symbols in the center?
Yes. The inlay is now quite clear. As you step back from it, you You see a symbol. Let me pull it up for you.
Nines, what did you do?
What did me this time?
I'm pretty sure it was the hat.
You leave hat out of this.
Did you?
That did nothing wrong.
What's your hat's name?
Doesn't have a name, it's a hat.
You did not name your hats?
No. Huh. What would you name your hat?
In the center,
Oh,
it's
that's the inlay.
that is the inlay in the center of this basin.
That's an awful lot of triangles.
I'm familiar with this, aren't I?
With triangles?
You are.
Okay.
This is a changeling religious symbol.
I see.
This is in the center of the depression where Zoria is standing.
It's the inlay, isn't it?
It roughly fills area of the basin.
Mm-hmm.
Zoria, do you have any idea what this is?
Yes. This is the symbol of the unification of the Orat Mall into one.
Does that mean there's 21 triangles?
Yes. Good counting.
I didn't count, I did math.
Oh. Very big difference, I'm sorry. That's what we're putting on your tombstone. I didn't count, I did math.
To describe it to the ear watchers on the podcast.
Our ear keepers.
That's what I'm gonna say now. They're not listeners anymore, they're ear watchers. I'm gonna do my best to describe the image.
Yes, open up your ear holes, people.
It is a
Here's wide
large
open.
central triangle. There's a smaller triangle set inside it. And off of the larger triangle, at various angles and points from that triangle, there are 21 lines extending out to 21 other triangles.
So, this would be when we escaped, when my people escaped here. The clans had to unify together to survive. The ones that got here, the 12 that escaped, and I guess more did as well, since we found one of them, or part of one of them. But it was also part of the belief that if the clans could unify, so could the Orat Mall. And that was sort of, I mean, we didn't know what, since 9 of the Orat Mall were missing, we couldn't do it, but that was sort of a central theme. And this is the symbol of that perfection.
That all of these things called Arad Malls would be put together into one big one?
Into a perfect unification.
So was an effort made with the 9 that you had? Is that
Yes.
the legend goes?
12, but yes, to some
12.
degree.
Yes.
It's okay, I know. I know all Otheths aren't great at math.
What happens when you put religious Voltron together?
There was a lot of people who theorized a lot of things, but no one's 100% sure. But it's not gonna happen if we can't get my lion bot back from the dragon family.
So an effort was made with the 12 that were there.
There were some who were said to have experimented, but without all 21, nothing could truly be done. So yes, this would be. I mean, it makes sense that this is here.
Because this is the place where the unification was to have happened.
At least maybe the hope, yes. Did we see any entrances into the ziggurat, or was it just the stairs?
It's just the stairs.
Okay. I'm going to take out my spyglass
Okay.
and try to get a gauge on what the city looks like from this vantage point to try and help us in mapping out this place.
Okay. Where do you want to go stand?
I'll stand. I'll set a rope to me as I walk around the circle around the tower and try and get a gauge all around us
So you're going out to
near the edge.
the edge. Okay.
So these symbols that we saw at the top of each of the stairs,
They're either numbers or directions.
perhaps you would wish to start on number 1, if that is what it is.
Yeah, we'll start with the east.
Okay.
Or you maybe stand on it.
Yeah, I'll stand on each symbol. Look with the spyglass at what I can see.
All right.
And I'll try and describe everything very thoroughly to everyone as I do it.
Make a perception check.
Do I get advantage with the spyglass?
This is before you have the spyglass up,
Oh, okay then. No, I don't know what's happening.
and you don't know what's happening.
17.
To your astonishment, as you approach the edge of the stairs, you look down and all of the inlay into the stairs is revealed to be an image. The long, intricate lines and curves show themselves to be something more when standing from this vantage point, looking down the staircase
From above.
from above. And on the stairs themselves, an image is revealed.
On the eastern stair.
On the eastern stair. The image that you see is of a humanoid figure, almost bereft of details, surrounded by a countless number of faces, all of them bereft in detail as well. None of them look pained or sorrowful or anger. They show no emotion. They are all emotionless. It appears like that.
Zoria, what is it that you see?
Well,
This is weird.
they can see it too, right?
Yes, you can all see it. This is
We
the
didn't come
inlay.
to the edge.
Come and look.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, what the hell is that?
This is the
Maximum swear.
the easternmost staircase.
Which could be 1, or it could be east. Classic the Bexavoy Square.
So are the heads pointing toward the top of the ziggurat?
So the bottom of this image is the top of the ziggurat.
So we're by the feet.
You are by the feet. This is clearly meant to be looked at from the top of the ziggurat. From the bottom, they are nothing more than lines.
Let's go southeast and southeast and sort of go around and see if there are more pictures.
So you are now going
Southeast.
southeast.
Which might be 2.
Well, there are 2 lines.
Right?
I'm just guessing that's like the numbering system. Do I recognize that imagery?
Not explicitly, no.
Okay.
It doesn't really ring a bell for you.
Okay.
In the southeastern stair, you see another image. this one has another similar looking featureless humanoid form. Towers above many other smaller humanoids. All of them lacking any features or detail. They are, by comparison, quite tiny. They are all running towards some sort of... the imagery hints at almost a portal. And then a line beneath them divides into another image. This one higher up, closer to you. There are mountains in the back. And what appears to be maybe flames. Large. Swirling above simple structures. Homes with simple roofs and some windows. And this is roughly the image you see.
Do you make anything of that? It looks as though a village is burning. A village in the mountains, and that people are running away somehow.
But do we read it top down or bottom up?
Maybe it's happened at the same time.
Well, this is clearly based on Changeling myth. We escaped from a homeworld here. So either if the top is us escaping through a portal via this featureless figure, either that is our homeworld below that we're escaping, or we're escaping into fire.
This is a great plan. Escape into fire.
That is something we would do.
But I'm not sure, since we're reading it from here downwards, it might be the bottom is the first part and the top is the second, or vice versa. Do I know anything about this shapeless figure at all?
Thinking back through your changeling
Upbringing.
the stories you were told about the origins of the people. You know the legends hold tales of a divine entity
The shifting gun?
that led your people to safety. This could be a depiction of that. Is the first thing that comes to mind here. Although the shifting god is
More recent.
not really depicted.
Right.
It's not ever truly been discussed in imagery.
Right. Do you want to see
Perhaps there are more clues.
the southern one then?
There are 6 more staircases. Perhaps there are more clues.
So there's this, maybe this divine entity, and then if based on what myth I know, I mean, I can't think of anything other than maybe the escape. But that could have been.
Let us look to the south.
The Southern Stair is a very disturbing image. It's a scene of a great battle. It depicts many figures fighting one another with various weapons. Some hand to hand, others with bows and arrows, javelins, shield, swords. This is everything that you can think of for martial combat is being deployed here. And some magical elements. The scene of slaughter as various battle standards are held up, depicting multiple factions fighting. This is hopefully the image that you see.
Do I recognize any of the battle standards?
They look like they could be old clan symbols. They're somewhat different than what you use today, but you see some that bear a strong resemblance. See some clan symbols that are used by others. You don't see one that is similar to Sulani.
Do I know of any time when changelings fought each other, though?
Not that you're aware of. You know that when they first arrived in this plane, there wasn't necessarily instantaneous harmony. They're tales of learning to cooperate together, but not really of battles.
See the next one?
Well, yes. We will continue to learn about the history of your clans.
With me, I guess. Nines, why did you have them all fight each?
It wasn't to me. I just wanted pancakes.
But the other side wanted
As
waffle.
you turn to the southwestern stair,
What they didn't realize is you just make a pancake waffle sandwich.
You get the both.
you see
Best of both.
you see an image of a circle surrounded by 21 other circles connected to it with lines. It's not entirely dissimilar from the central image on the Ziggurat, although the proportions are slightly different, as it is on a staircase. This is roughly the image you see,
This is one I'm familiar with.
although you've never seen it presented in this sort of proportion.
Right.
It's slightly squished on the sides from what you would usually see. You are familiar with this imagery. This is tantamount to the crucifix for Christians. This is a symbol of both changeling culture, society, and religion. This is a multifaceted image. It carries a great deal of meaning, but you instantly know what it means.
Yeah, so this is all the clans unifying, right? And all the... It's less
This is the
metaphysical.
symbol of unity.
Was it? I'm trying to remember what you told me. Is it also the symbol that Onrissa used for Onrissa?
Yes,
Okay.
this was and still is used by changelings to symbolize the unification of the 21 clans.
You're writing this all down, right, Nines?
What? I look like I carry pen and paper.
I took
Do you think I am some sort of muse?
I took all sorts of notes about you and the voice.
Well, that's interesting stuff.
Let us look down the west.
Ow. I'll go to the west there, a little dejected. I take Too psychic now.
In the west stair, you see what appears to be a great city, circled by a wall, large gate. In the center of this city, a massive spire towers above everything else, reaching up into the heavens, where above its peak, its pointed top, sits a circle. This is roughly what you see.
And so this might be on Rissa then. If I'm sort of following this correctly.
So in your stories, were all of the clans present in Anrissa?
12.
12 of them.
9 weren't with the 12 came through. 9 were lost. We weren't sure.
So you do not know if they came through the portal or not? You do not know if they were destroyed in the battle or not?
We don't. They were never found. They might have come through. Apparently, one of them did. Buria. And I think she had mentioned another one. She had mentioned Jitax. That's another lost one. So they might have come through somewhere else in this world.
Yes, and not with you. So,
Well, I wasn't there.
well, what I
Why
meant
not?
with yours.
How old do I look to you?
So,
Just every week.
so your clan, your clan,
wrong.
your clan lived in this city then too.
Yes, the Sudani was part of Anrissa.
Okay.
We'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
I just turn into a really old, decrepit 9s. This is your future.
No, I'll die young.
Oh.
Famous.
Okay.
The next image, quite different than the previous one.
You're halfway there.
Oh.
It is simple in its nature. The image, like the one with the portal before, bisects and depicts two separate parts. The image that is further down the stair is a ship. Looks to be small. It has just one person in it, sailing on waves. Is it an ocean? A river? Like, it's unclear, but there's the water. Beneath that, this same person, identified by distinctive hat. A hat shaped very similar to the one that 9s risked going into the stair for.
Well, if it's an important person hat, they would sell copies of.
Okay.
The lower image depicts this individual wearing this distinctive hat, holding their hand out, and
Nice
Above-
begging.
above their hand
Give me food.
sits a small bag, pouch maybe, and across from them sit 3 other characters. Although the lines are not so highly detailed to give individual characteristics much meaning, you sort of recognize these other individuals. On the opposite side is somewhat dwarf-like, Another in the middle. These three are looks a bit like a Sahaugen. You've now seen several times on your travels through the waters. And then the last in this row is appears to be a dragonkin. And they are all holding different items as their hands are extended outward. This is roughly the image you see.
So, this must be Jarella. Because Tehran spoke about how much Jarella traded with the other races. So you're wearing Jarella's hat.
It's a nice hat.
So Jarella departed by sea and traded with the other races. Must be what this is depicting.
And they are trading a hammer. That would be a dwarf, right? And a golden cup of some sort.
With the dragonkin.
And I don't know, an olive on a stick.
A pearl.
Oh, because of being in the sea.
Haugen.
Yes, being in the sea. His hat has a feather.
I gave him a feather.
I know, a very precious feather.
Yeah.
Yes, rare hat requires rare feather.
Fair point. We'll go to the next one.
Yep, due north.
The Northern Stair has another startling image. It's of the same city that you saw before. It is now an apparent ruin. Its walls with some crumbling bits, its buildings, jagged lines as though they are collapsing in, and the grand spire that once stood is now broken and shattered. Clouds of smoke, maybe dust, rise up in the background. And this same figure, wearing this distinctive hat, is in the foreground, apparently broken or sobbing at the sight. This is what you see.
So in your legends, why did this great city fall?
It's not clear, but some of the stories say there was an enemy or an invader who destroyed the city. I don't know if it was a literal invader or like a metaphor.
Oh, it could not be the same beast that Lan Veran was hunting.
I don't know. But
I
this
see that
is
the circle is still in the air.
it. Well, yes, I don't remember any orb above Anrisa in any of the stories, so it could be like, the sun or moon as well, or it could be something I don't know.
So something had destroyed this great city of the 12 clans.
Yes, a enemy or an invader, which I don't know if it's literal or not. But this is after the collapse and Jarella returning to the city to find it in ruins.
Well, then the last one. This is very difficult for you to see your legends pictured, so.
A little, yeah. Treat that hat well.
I will.
Okay.
I risked life to get this.
You really did.
The last stair. The stair that faces northwest.
Wouldn't it be northeast?
It's northeast. I keep doing that.
Yep.
Don't.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't.
I don't know why I'm stuck on that tonight. Just
That was like the fourth time.
it's like the fourth freaking time I've done that. And I don't know why.
Maybe you're thinking of the movie and you can't get it out of you.
All right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Let's take a step back from the cardinal directions and just go with a bishop direction for now.
Yeah. Well, at this rate, I might have to
I
step
heard they
back
can only
and,
move diagonally.
and take like a priest direction.
There you go. Get demoted a few.
Yeah, and then down a
Directions.
few ranks. Keep
I'm pretty
screwing
sure
up.
that's how it works.
It might just be a deacon direction.
Have
If
it
I really mess up, I'll just be an usher direction.
choir director.
Direction.
Heavy-handed organist.
The end organist direction.
Anyway.
The very last stair contains a multitude of images. They are snippets of all the stories that seem to be depicted on the other stairs. Just small parts of each of those images on the stairways put together into one. Are you holding your orbit direction?
Yeah. I said I had it out at the start, so I'm gonna assume I didn't.
We've just been having it like right here the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Just handy.
You notice that this staircase is slightly off. All of the others point exactly towards the cardinal and ordinal points. Not within a few degrees, not roughly close, exactly. But this staircase, this one's slightly off.
In what direction?
And it goes just a couple of degrees more north than west.
East.
That's like the 8th time I'm down to Usher now.
You are definitely.
You're at
I'm
volunteer on.
I really am. I'm not. This is what happens when you are DMing your second session of the day and you have prepared a mountain of digital material and integrated all sorts of new tricks with your tech. This is what happens. Your brain just doesn't function right, kids.
The only thing that happens is you forget directions.
Kids,
No, only
don't
one
do
direction.
DMing.
One
It'll get you
yes.
lost when you're going
Everything
hiking
is
somewhere.
west.
That's what it is. Don't do DMing. It's bad for your direction sense.
What DM is hiking?
Surprise.
So do DMing, kids. It's fine.
That's more north or more east?
It is.
Slightly more.
It's slightly more north.
Okay.
Does it? If I look along that staircase, exactly in that line, do we see anything in the distance, near or far?
Nothing that really stands out. From this vantage point, and I described there's sort of a fog that still surrounds. You can see other pillars through the city. They're bright pyramidal tops kind of glinting, but only the 4 on the cardinal directions are so illuminated. There are another 4 that are not.
Well, th- I'm not sure if this is a clue or not. The northeast one. I'm trying to think, like, I'm trying to remember the world map. It might be that this stair is actually facing in the direction of Onrissa.
Well, let's go down that one.
Like, I mean, it would be thousands of miles.
No,
It's not a lot.
that is long. That is a long trip.
That's just a wild guess, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we should still go down it.
That's, well, this is the stair. Yeah. East.
So the 4 cardinal directions were just your people all together,
Yeah. So it started with
and south is the war,
yes,
and west is
Onrissa.
Onrissa, as it
Oh.
should be.
And north
North
is the
is the
collapse. Should we keep?
So all of this makes sense, except we do not know what the war was about.
I knew there was difficulties when we arrived, but I don't think there was a. I never learned about a war
Mm-hmm.
between clans.
The difficulties were with the other races that were already here.
No, we were in a world we'd never been. We didn't know. We had to survive with resources and.
So they may have been battled
think-
with the populations already there.
Or, I mean, there might have been. Not much is known about. Pretty much anything is known about from before we came here. Maybe the clans didn't get along. Maybe they didn't get along once they got here. Maybe they brought grudges from the homeworld here. I'm not sure.
Well, give you guys time, well, a few minutes to ruminate on that. And we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll see you shortly. welcome back, everybody. We returned from break, and when I left off, the group was debating exactly what the hell is going on with some of these images, with this directions, why east is constantly west on top of a ziggurat.
We came to the bottom of that.
Yes, we did. It's just the TM being exhausted. And we returned to the group when they're on top of the ziggurat still, sort of figuring out what to do next.
So if they're going after the Orat Mall, if this is mirroring on Rissa, which I assume it is, it would have been stored under this ziggurat or within it, within or under the ziggurat. So we need to either find a way in around the ziggurat here, or I don't know. I don't really do architecture.
So if the Arat Mall would have been stored beneath our feet here,
Yes.
why are not Brukelion and his minions, soldiers, and captives here as well?
Well, they've been, I don't know, maybe they know something we don't.
Perhaps they went into a building and became trapped.
Yeah, then maybe they are teleported into a building trying to get something.
That's possible, apparently.
I put with my nice hat.
Let's go down this northeastern staircase that's slightly misaligned.
Okay.
And I'm going to just take time checking the staircase for any sign of entry, maybe especially around like the unification symbol, to see if there's like a passageway or entry.
Before we do that, I am wondering, the center depression has the symbol of the 20. That's triangle, so right?
Yes. So.
Could you go into the very center of the center triangle and examine that for any possible entrance?
Yeah, I could. I'll go to the central symbol, and I'll put my hand on the triangle in the center of the symbol of the unification.
Okay.
Do I feel anything immediately, or?
As you do, feel that the ziggurat is warm. Much like the pillars. Feels similar to that. And feel this odd tugging. Almost like someone's pulling on like the back of your neck or something like that. Just tugging you towards the northwest, and I do mean northwest this time. And as you look up and open your eyes, you see that the quarter, I'm going to bring up this image so that you all understand what I'm talking about here. Let me prepare it for you because you have a good vantage point now.
Nice. Stop it.
No!
No, my neck.
What is this?
Well, we'll go this direction.
This is South Bleast.
What is it that you are detecting?
I will tell you in a minute when I can articulate it in a way that the world wants me to.
Okay. I just want this to be clear to you. When you look up, there is a very large structure in the middle of many buildings, and you see there's clear pathways, side streets and things that lead to it. This building has a more subtle but still noticeable beam of light shooting up from its center, and you sort of felt this tug in that direction. On the circled structure is the structure that you were being called to.
I feel a tug in that direction.
You did not feel any of that until you touched the center of the image.
Can I touch the center image?
Yes?
Does anything happen with me?
What do you do with it?
Just touch it, lick it.
Hey,
You don't feel any particular pull anywhere in the brief contact you have.
I start pulling on the stone eastward.
You feel a tug eastward.
Sorry, what did you want us to do again?
Since we're up here and we can clearly get a good vantage point, can we try and get a better sense of the city before we head down?
Do we have to go downstairs again?
What?
Do we have to go downstairs again?
Yeah, downstairs is a lot easier than upstairs.
It's a lot of stairs, though.
Not it? Yeah?
We could just push you and you could roll down.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
I feel like you would definitely be dead.
Will you try?
Fair enough. Are you gonna do it?
No.
But I'm not strong enough to push someone.
Let's map out the area first.
Alright. So,
Okay. You just give me a moment. I am preparing the...
I wish that these pictures showed why Unrissa collapsed. But Jarell wasn't there. Jarella wasn't there.
No. And none of the legends suggest a reason.
My legends that I was told was just that it wasn't clear. There were, and it might have been people who were either scared of our ability to build things like this or desired its power, like this Brukelion guy, or Brukelion.
Kellyan.
Or it, I don't know. An invader could be, in the story, could be something metaphorical, like a disease.
What you can now see of the city quite a bit more. You are aware that the city still stretches beyond the edges of your visibility here.
So there are roads and towers on the four cardinal directions. There is one to the
Northwest and
northwest and southwest. There is nothing to the northeast or southeast that we can see.
but there's mist.
You do see in the northeast and the southeast little glints, as I described, from peaks of these pillars, but can't quite tell where they are out there.
There is a
Because of
road
obscurity.
leading to the northeast.
Yeah, in that cross section, and
And
one.
there's sort of one down
Going.
in the southeast. But you said you felt a tugging? Actually, you didn't say that.
Yes, I feel there's a calling to that building to the northwest.
Shall we follow your tug?
Yep.
Follow the tug of destiny. Let us go.
Destiny. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Why
Yeah,
not?
that's how you it's, I'll be the tugboat and you guys just follow behind.
Mm-hmm.
So we're leaving
I've
this
learned
place.
a lot about boats lately. I think yes. Until yes. We'll go that way.
Okay. You make your way around. Do you want to go
We'll go north and then turn west.
north and turn west and wind your way through the buildings, down side streets, and
Oh, we got down the stairs fast.
Yeah, we rolled.
it does take you almost as long to descend the stairs.
Oh, I don't think so. I jump off the side.
You featherball.
And I cast Featherfall on myself. And while I'm waiting for them to get
This is definitely how you use your spells. Yeah, you're like, can we get a long rest? I need to rejuvenate my spells for the next.
yes, because otherwise I'll have to walk downstairs again.
Heaven forbid. Or lock yourself into a building.
Speaking of, while they're walking downstairs like suckers,
Yes.
I'm gonna go look around at the windows.
Okay. There's in this area, within this large square, this plaza, there are walls that surround everything except the streets, and then there are what you can sort of make out were likely stalls or pavilions at one point, likely for vendors. Think like a farmer market, There are no windows within this particular space.
No, there goes your window shopping.
This is
Oh, I
all
can just
sort of
wander
opening.
off though. I have plenty of time.
Nice, catch me. Yeah.
We will have plenty of time to get to the spell. Don't know who I'm shouting at.
Although the climb down is less physically exerting, it is easier. As these stairs are, like I said, they're shallow and quite steep. It takes you about 45 minutes to safely climb your way down them.
They find me sleeping on top of one of the stalls.
I am very surprised that Nines is still alive.
Well, poke.
Good point. Like, I'm on one of the stalls, but I'm like sprawled.
See if he's alive.
Are you still alive?
Ah,
It sounds like
Yeah, close enough.
Captain, what do you think of all this?
I am awed by the power here, and left in complete amazement that something like this could even be built. I've been to some of the grandest cities this world has. The cities carved into mountains with dragons that have made their layers in them. I have been to cities constructed of finest marbles, most beautiful granites. Nothing compares to this.
That's how you compliment someone.
And Zoria, you said that this was a mere shadow of the original Anrisa?
If the legends are true, yes. This is what Jarella was able to make with me, not without the 12 plans altogether.
Wow. You have a history of very skilled craftspeople and builders.
Thank you.
And so you who are a captain,
Yes.
are you also surprised that Nines is still alive?
For most of the time that I've known you all, I can't say that his survival instincts have been particularly surprising. However, after the events of the last several hours, I have to say that his lack of survival instincts seem much more remarkable than his survival instincts. I have never seen anyone trap themselves within a hat shop quite so thoroughly.
This month I got sweet hats.
I cannot debate that.
Let's head to Northwestern.
Look, Optin.
Out.
Worth it.
You take 6 points of stupid damage.
Why do I even put that on my character sheet?
We're playing Call of Cthulhu now. It's sanity damage.
You're now insane. You've lost your mind.
Yeah.
I can't put
And
negative 6 temporary hit points.
You see a great elder one.
So, you make your way towards this large, well, so much a building, as it seems to be a smaller, yet still quite large plaza. You wind your way slowly through the buildings. You continue to see a mix of different designs and uses. The further back you get from the streets, the more intricate and strange these structures seem to be. Things that would be near impossible to do with conventional materials. Archways that are far too thin and span too long a distance. Little balconies that stick out with barely a support structure to them. They festoon all the sides. There are little gardens and plots of green throughout this part of the city. Even the buildings that stand 3 to 4 stories tall have areas where plant life showers over the edges now, but still does not stick to the buildings.
In any of the gardens, do I see any plants that don't look like they belong in a jungle sort of environment?
No, don't. You, with your knowledge of nature, assume that there probably would have been some non-native plants here at one point, but they would have eventually lost out to the forces of the jungle taking them over. The interior spaces here seem to, well, to us we would call it an almost MCS-er quality. Structures that could not, you imagine, ever support themselves somehow do. Spaces that defy all other material properties somehow manage to stand strong. There are buildings that are built on the most narrow of stilts to create long open spaces beneath them, shaded and cool from the jungle heat. You come across a couple of pools. The water isn't in the best condition anymore. It has filled with the sorts of algae and plants that you would expect millennia in a jungle to gather. But you can imagine how they once would have been beautiful fountains and little pools for people to swim and splash in and cool down in the heat. You arrive at this large plaza. It is only open on one side. The side that is on the most northwestern edge. And again, I do mean northwestern. This is the only way to enter into it. The rest are surrounded by thin walls. They're highly decorated. with all sorts of patterns similar to what you saw on the floor of the plaza, the Ziggurat. Many swirling fractal patterns throughout it. It's quite pretty. When you enter this enclosure, pull up the right image so I can show you that.
You can do pretty impressive architecture when you can shape matter with your mind.
What was that?
You can do really impressive architecture when you can change matter with will.
I imagine that's true.
This is a very simple area. Almost stark in its lack of buildings. You see, what you see is a central miniature version of the Ziggurat. It is only 10 feet tall or so. And on it is a simple pillar, not entirely dissimilar from the large ones you've seen. This one only stands about 5, maybe 6 feet tall up from the top of the Ziggurat. It is not capped with any sort of a pyramidal shape. And surrounding it, what I've represented simply with ovals, those are all indeed statues. Statues of different figures. All of them very detailed, different races. See a dwarf. You see a goblin. See an ogre, an orc. There are... I have given a number of ovals here, really representative. There are dozens of statues, all from around the shortest being about 10 feet tall, and the tallest of them being around 25. All for different creatures of smaller and larger sizes. And although they don't depict any particular figures that at least you recognize, they are all highly detailed, beautiful sculptures with the finest craftsmanship.
Is there a Farrog and a Tabaxi?
Yes.
I do recall that the image on the northwest was of Jarella trading with other races.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are in a plaza full of other races.
You know what this makes me think this is? I think this is a school to learn different shapes.
Can you turn into these?
Do I see any races I don't recognize?
Yes. Quite a few.
I'll go up to one.
Okay.
What is it? Look like? I mean, I don't, you know.
This is actually, it is a humanoid bat. Sort of individual. It has a humanoid sort of shape. Its body, you know, arms, legs, torso, thing, but its arms are with wings, and its face is bat features and bat nose. It's clearly a bat and like this human.
Is that Batman?
I don't know
You
what
don't
the
know if it's a
gender.
man. It is
Studying
a
it,
bat.
studying it for a while. I would like to try and transform into it.
That's easy enough. The figures are incredibly well detailed. It's as though they were carved with an immense attention to specificity. Taking this shape is much more difficult than if you were to attempt to, again, be Nines or the Captain or Elizabeth. You can do this without much thought. You find that you don't know how to represent the colors of this creature, though. So you are your sort of pale, changeling white on all your surfaces, all the exposed skin and fur. You just because the statues are that way. You don't know quite how to do that.
I wonder if these were painted originally.
Is there any sign of paint on any of them? Well, we've seen little bits here and there of paint.
Make an investigation check.
Guidance. Mm, 16.
Although this bat person, you don't find any paint on it. You do find some paint on others. Not much. No more than any of the buildings you've seen, just little flecks on the exterior. Although the material itself is quite tough, whatever sort of coatings it put on, the jungle is rather rough on. You get some clues that these likely would have been painted when this city was teeming with life.
Yeah, the detail makes me think that this is for learning forms.
That is a very clever thing, then, to have a statue of all sorts of different races, so that you could learn to transform into them without having to visit each one.
At each statue, you catch us with your investigation. You see a fairly noticeable. It's carved in such a way that it's seamless with the base of the statue, but it is still noticeable. Appears to be a button.
Nice.
What?
And each statue has one.
There's a button on each statue.
Can I hit that?
Let me check the ziggurat first. In the middle of this room. And then definitely.
But first,
The tabaxi button. All the others will kill you.
Insight. What do you know anything about this?
I'm a changeling.
I hit the nearest button.
The nearest button happens to be the bat person statue that you've all been around now. And you press the button, it sinks in slowly. Yeah, you give it just the lightest press and it's just retracts on its own into its pedestal base, a couple inches. That's it.
so,
I'm hitting all the buttons now.
No, I have an idea.
mm-hmm.
First, let's check the ziggurat. This might be a puzzle.
And an adventure?
Yeah.
Let's go check.
Let's check the ziggurat.
Okay. Where do you want to look in the ziggurat? What are you looking for?
Let's look for buttons, but also checking the central pillar there.
Right?
And look for symbols,
Yeah. But
like the numbers.
I'm thinking if we push the dwarf, Sahagin, dragonkin statues.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry. I had to get that out of my head.
You look around the ziggurat. I won't make you roll an investigation check because you're not under any real pressure here. You're just looking around. You're not even sure exactly what you're looking for. Just clues. At the top of the ziggurat, about 10 feet up, you see that there is a lever. It is tipped to one side. It seems to be part of some sort of mechanism. It's not just, some loose thing. You can see by looking down to where this lever is mounted that there are some gears associated with it. But it goes into inky darkness fairly quickly in this mechanism beneath.
Nines. There's a lever.
I hit the lever.
Okay, you pull the lever, and when you do, it locks into place. You pull it from left to right, and you hear sort of the gentle whirring of a few congs. And then you hear and we don't want to sleep there.
Right as you made the noise.
Right as I made the noise.
Weird.
That was a little weird there. I don't mean to freak anyone out. Sorry. That was completely incidental.
Did we just die?
Yeah. So,
Array burst. Boom.
and the players all had a heart attack. But you hear this little whirring, and then the lever and pops back into its first spot.
Check the bat poke. Is the button up again?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the question. It depicted in this direction, like you said. Was Jarella trading with a dwarf, a Sahaugen, and a dragonkin.
Yes.
Is there a changeling statue as well? A Rosati statue?
Yes, there is.
Do we include the Rosati?
Well, we have found the reset lever.
Right,
Let us try.
with all of them.
Yes.
So, Nines, will you push the button for the Rosati, the changeling, then the dwarf, then the Sahaugen, then the dragonkin?
Yes.
Okay.
Like now?
Yeah. In that order.
I get up and I do it.
Are you exhausted by the effort?
Well,
It takes a few minutes to walk around this place and push the buttons in. It's a large space.
I would like to be trying to see as many of these unknown races and species as I can, or just to log away for transformation purposes.
Yeah, you now have. I mean, there's countless dozens of different depictions here, different species you've never seen, all humanoid, and you will
Not have colors.
you will not have colors
Or
try to transform into
what
any of
their
them.
voices sound like.
Nope, but you have
Basic shapes.
some basic shapes here.
Okay.
Well, I accomplished my goal. Can I hit the lever now?
Yes.
Nines hits the lever.
Okay. You pull the lever once more from left to right, and it locks into place, and you hear the gentle whirring. Yeah. And once more.
Ah,
And
Picture stand.
and you hear a. And then. As the lever snaps back into its original position.
Try without the Rosati.
I start walking around and hitting them with.
Another few minutes pass.
This would go faster if you helped.
I will push one of the buttons.
Yeah! I really like
It is
that.
fun to watch you walk around, though.
Do you have inspiration, Soria?
No.
You have DM inspiration. I really enjoyed that stupid. Does it go faster if you tell? Yeah. Fuck off. I like that.
So the three buttons are
Gets
pushed.
rewarded for being mean tonight.
I will push the lever this time.
All I got was a cool hat.
You pull the lever once again, left to right, and the gentle whirring begins anew. The ticking. As it slides back into place.
I'm just hitting every button now.
We are getting ticking sounds, which we did not get from the bat person.
When it was just the bad person.
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing?
Weren't they holding something?
Mm-hmm.
A pouch. Jarell had a pouch. The dwarf had a hammer. The Sahaugen had a pearl. And the dragonkin had a...
Did the statues how are they posed?
They all have sort of different poses.
They're all naked.
Yes, actually, they are. These seem to be anatomical depictions of races.
So I examined the Ziggurat replica carefully, looking for inscriptions of items, like a pouch or a pearl.
You see no such inscriptions or inlays. The Ziggurat, although a miniature here, doesn't have nearly the same level of detail, characteristics, inlays, anything like that. It's rather plain by comparison, save for the lever and the, pointed pillar at top.
I mean... Okay, I'll turn into a dwarf and push the dwarf button and see if that does anything different.
The button is depressed much in the same way it was before.
Okay, I'll push those 3 buttons again
Okay.
and the Rasati button, and I'll try pulling the lever.
Okay.
See if there's like a...
You pull the lever from left to right. Perhaps with better luck. The whirring begins. As the lever slides back into its original position.
Jarella liked to trade with all the races.
I had to hit all the buttons now.
Yes,
I mean,
push all the buttons.
I start walking and hit every single button.
there's all these themes of unification and trade and...
This would go faster if someone helped.
Captain,
Yes.
you want to push some buttons?
Well, I don't mind chipping in here.
I'll push some buttons too,
I will push some buttons also.
since there's a lot.
You all walk around, pushing all the buttons. Each slot into place. Like ones you already had. And then the 4 of you together, gather again at the top of the Ziggurat. Who wants to pull the lever?
Cool stuff. You pull lever, but you hold it in place.
I will try to do that.
Don't break the city though.
You pull the lever once more from left, right. The gears start. They grow louder this time.
See, I told you, holding lever in place helps.
More gears continue to turn. The noise grows loud. The Ziggurat itself slowly descends into the floor.
Get off.
And
Hold on, I'm not moving again.
just
It's sort of a ride.
the Ziggurat slowly sinking. Nine's not moving.
It's just like
I have a hat.
wood chipper underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nine's move enough. Someone move me now.
Wolfsmith, pick me up to save me from wood chipper.
It is a wood chipper. It's not a tabaxi chipper.
Wolfsmith, pick me up.
Oh,
Shit.
that's the most ultimate answer.
It's not. No, it's a wood chipper, not a tabaxi chipper. You're fine.
When you're a wood chipper, everything wood.
It's very simple-minded.
It has no mind. It's just wood chipper.
There's no wood chipper under there.
You actually worried now?
There's,
I was just reminding you.
Just looking forward to it now.
Yeah, I was like,
to the best of your
is there like a
knowledge,
paper shredder?
there's no wood chipper underneath it. The ziggurat is slowly lowering into the ground, and the ground is moving inward to meet it. So, see, stairs are angled. As they go down, the floor moves inward, so that it covers up what would have otherwise been a dip in the ground. And as the central platform you're on reaches the ground level, the ziggurat stops. The pillar lights up, and it shifts. It changes shape into a depiction of this featureless figure that you had seen depicted.
The divine entity.
And a beam of light shoots up from the whole plaza. And all of the buildings around glow a bit brighter light. Although the sun is starting to set, the city grows brighter now. And you find yourself in a quite well illuminated space. The areas which you can just get some glimpses of beyond the main thoroughfares you've been traveling before. Those city blocks begin to illuminate. And you see another beam of light coming up from where the keep was. That military structure you saw as you first entered.
We're unlocking the ziggurat.
As stand here for a moment, the statue of the featureless figure slowly bends down and opens its hands up that had been closed like this, and opens them up, revealing a small, almost pebble-looking thing.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
Is it like a stone? Maybe?
You can't place this material. You don't never seen anything like it. It's both dull yet shiny. It somehow inhabits multiple characteristics all at the same time. You think, oh well, it's got some little flecks and crystal structures. And you look at it again, and it seems to have just taken on a different property. When you look at it a different way, it looks like a different thing. But the shape of it remains consistent. It's sort of a smooth but a little craggly kind of pebble. It's about the size of like about half a tennis ball. Use a tennis ball by about 50%, and it's about the size of this.
I'll touch it.
So it's a mini tennis ball.
Yeah,
It's like
the mini tennis ball.
like a handball.
A large marshmallow.
Touch it.
It's warm to the touch.
Sorry, you're gonna eat that?
Yes. I pick it up. If it doesn't come free.
Yes.
Magic apple. You know what I just realized? We're gonna do all this work. We're gonna get to like the Orant Mall chamber, and that stupid dwarf's gonna be in there and go, "Thanks for doing all the work for me."
That sounds very cliche.
And then give you his hat.
Yes, if we get free hat out of it, then we should do it.
Okay, then is the northwestern pillar illuminated now?
Not that you can see.
Okay. Well, shall we head to the keep?
That seems to be the glowing place. I'm a bit surprised, however, that
Fine.
that all of this activity in glowingness has not attracted the attention of Brukelion.
Maybe they all died.
Ah, that is true.
That would be convenient.
Positive.
You were told a story that if the wrong person entered the city, that the city would take care of them.
Yeah, positive thinking.
As
The city
you,
has a way of shutting those things down.
as you step off the small platform here, behind you, the platform sinks even further and reveals a spiraling staircase down the chamber.
What is with your society and stairs?
You like to stay fit?
No.
Well, we can go down the spiral staircase. We can go to the keep that is now lit up.
But was also sealed.
It was when we first saw it, yes.
The staircase is here.
The staircase is closer. You can carry me down.
I throw nines over my shoulder and say, "Nines,
Yes.
if I'm going to carry you, you must be very quiet."
This might just be like a storeroom or something like that underneath.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if this was a school, maybe there's like some chalkboards.
Yes, I
What do you keep in schools?
replenish my chalk.
I lived in a little swamp village.
Let's go down and see. Zorio, do you wish to go first because this is a changeling city?
No, I think someone else should go first.
You are our captain.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. You do not see well in the dark, do you?
Not particularly, no.
Is there light down there?
Doesn't seem like there's much light. It doesn't seem quite as inky dark as you might expect from an underground space. So maybe there's some sort of very low level light down there.
Well, I light my hooded lantern just to assist those who don't have dark vision.
Bob. Just Captain Bob.
That's right. Just
The rest of you all have
the
different.
rest of us have.
You-
I see 120 feet in the dark.
Use your invisibility detecting lantern.
Doesn't that have limited charges?
No, it's just the whatever fuel is the only limiter. Whatever oil is in it.
Okay, I'll use that.
Just in case.
You head
and head slowly down,
down the spiral staircase.
carefully, cautiously.
All of about
Not stumbling, holding onto the railing, being safe.
Nice, not.
12 or 13 feet down. There's not a railing. So it's, not the safest staircase.
So this could be from a galaxy far, far away.
And
Or
you
the
get-
school lost its funding.
You get down below
Got shut down by the
Into
ADA
an-
lawsuits.
a room that does seem to have some sort of lighting, although it is very dim. And you see the end of today's session because
Well, we just
we'll
solved-
start something quite long.
No, we just solved the first puzzle.
Actually, we'll be continuing something quite long.
Now, the first puzzle was getting me out of that door. that shop.
Yeah.
You know how the earliest sessions, like the earliest classes in high school, are called, like 0 hour in a lot of places? That was the 0 puzzle. Puzzle 0. I didn't, you didn't have to do it. It was optional. No one was forcing you, but boy, did you do it. You puzzled the hell out of it. Well done. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys are all enjoying this deep dive into this massive city and unearthing all sorts of lost mysteries and knowledge. We will pick this adventure up next week, and for us, it really will be next week, the next time we start this again. So, in the meantime, stay safe and get vaccinated if you haven't, because
Get those boosters.
get those boosters.
We got boosted.
Yes, use the
Yeah.
boost to get through the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to Tabaxi Wong, David Nine's Tabaxi Wong. Advice. We love you guys.
Also, use bombs wisely.
We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.